Inside of M-Series, cues and cue lists are the primary ways of storing cues that you've created in the programmer for easy playback later. Cues are stored in cue lists that are then played back in order or out of order as you go through your show. Let's create our first cue list. I'm going to go ahead and select these quantum profiles, and I'm going to navigate to bank 16 because I know that that bank is empty on this demo show file. That way, we'll have lots of space to work with to create our cues. We're then going to go and take our Mac quantum profiles to full, take them to the home position, and we'll turn them red. Perfect. Now let's go ahead, press record, and record this to a cue list by clicking on the playback we want to record it to. This is how we create our first cue list, our first cue in it. At this point, we can type the name, red on stage we'll call this, and we can choose the type of cue lists. For this example, we're just going to stick with the standard cue list, which is color-coded red. Press enter, and the command is executed. We can now see that in this cue list, red on stage, we now have one cue, and the fader is at 100%. We can double-click or move the fader on our console if we want to change that level. Now let's create another cue on this same cue list. So we're going to take our quantum profiles, and now we're going to point them at the base. We'll press record, click on our existing cue list, and we've now added a second cue on that same cue list. We can see that we have two cues on the cue list display. It's generally a good idea, especially when you're starting out, to go ahead and record all your cues in order without clearing your programmer. That way, you'll know what the cues are going to look like exactly when you play them back. Now you've recorded your first cue list. You can go ahead and press clear twice to clear your programmer, and then press play either here by double-clicking on the playback and pressing the play button, or by pressing play on your console surface to watch the cues that you've just recorded play back live on the stage.